Soleil took a deep breath as she stepped out of the narrow passage. She was relieved to finally escape the suffocating cave. Before her was a vast, breathtaking space, filled with countless mystical specks of light shimmering in the darkness. Leo looked around curiously. His small ears perked up as if sensing something unusual. The eerie silence made the members of the group begin to wonder whether the Overlord was actually here. Suddenly, a tiny spark of electricity flashed in the darkness, catching Milo's attention. In the blink of an eye, the spark erupted into a gigantic ball of lightning right in front of him. A painful scream rang out as the extremely powerful electricity engulfed Milo's entire body. Milo collapsed, white smoke rising from his scorched body, while the others were still unable to react. Moments later, countless more lightning orbs began raining down, targeting the panicked group of hunters. Soleil shouted a warning as the thunderbolts came crashing toward them. Soleil immediately swung her weapon to smash the lightning orbs apart. But there were far too many of them, and the pressure from the bolts was overwhelming. Gideon controlled the magical artifact bell from behind, supporting Soleil as they fought against the lightning. Looking toward the top of the hill, they froze when they saw the figure controlling the dungeon. It was the Heavenly Lantern Fox, a rank C lightning-type overlord with overwhelming power. Soleil was surprised to realize that it had the appearance of a fox. While Chen remained calm as he observed it, Chen silently judged that this monster would be perfect as a training exercise for Leo. Without giving them any time to rest, the fox continuously fired brilliant lightning orbs, tearing the ground apart. The successive explosions created powerful shockwaves, sending the hunters flying backward. Soleil was thrown to the ground. She gritted her teeth and endured the pain amid the swirling dust. At that moment, a gigantic lightning orb came crashing toward her, and Soleil could only widen her eyes as she stared at death approaching. Seeing this, Leo let out an enraged roar, his eyes glowing with a mysterious purple light. At the critical moment, a teleportation circle appeared, pulling Soleil out of the danger zone by a hair's breadth. The lightning explosion struck the spot where Soleil had been standing, leaving behind a deep crater that was still burning. Now it was Leo's turn to face the attack. Leo's tiny body looked completely out of place amid the lightning bolts raining down around him. A massive explosion erupted, but Leo was no longer there. Chen had activated the stellar warp skill, bringing Leo safely back to his side. Chen calmly reminded Leo to carefully observe his surroundings and always leave himself an escape route when fighting. Atop the hill, the Heavenly Lantern Fox furiously gathered energy, preparing to unleash its next attack. Thousands of lightning bolts began raining down like a deadly electric storm, covering the entire cavern. This was the monster's skill, Heavenly Thunder Descent. Seeing this, Gideon screamed in despair, believing that the entire team was about to be completely wiped out. Suddenly, Nolan charged forward at terrifying speed, using a Felchen step to cut through the storm of lightning and appear behind the monster. With one precise thrust, he pierced straight through the boss's chest before it could unleash its final attack. Chen and Soleil stared in shock at the scene. They realized that Nolan was definitely not an ordinary newcomer. The gigantic fox collapsed to the ground with a tremendous impact that echoed throughout the cavern. It lay motionless at Nolan's feet, completely paralyzed, while Nolan remained hidden beneath his camouflage. Chen's expression turned serious as he realized that this man had timed his attack with incredible precision, striking at the exact moment the fox exposed its weakness. Gideon came running over, cheering excitedly and repeatedly praising Nolan's flawless ambush. He couldn't understand how an E-rank hunter could kill a C-rank boss with just a single strike. The Heavenly Lantern Fox was barely breathing its last few breaths, its body still twitching from the lingering effects of the electricity. Gideon raised his weapon, intending to personally finish it off and bring the battle to an end. But before he could launch the attack, two electrified blades pierced through Gideon's body from behind. The entire group froze in horror. No one could believe the brutal betrayal that had just unfolded before their eyes. Gideon's weapon fell to the ground, landing in a pool of blood beside its unfortunate owner. Gideon trembled as he spoke his final words in disbelief, while Nolan merely responded with a cold, cruel smile. He admitted that he loved this feeling, loved watching the lives of his teammates slowly fade away. He advised everyone not to rush, because the real fun had only just begun. A crazed look was visible beneath the brim of his hat, signaling that a horrifying tragedy was about to befall the entire team. Witnessing his teammate's death, another member of the group panicked and fled, His desperate screams echoed throughout the rocky cavern, making the scene look like nothing short of a nightmare deep within the dark dungeon. The young hunter ran while crying, desperately begging to be allowed to return home. Nolan sneered, saying there was no need for him to run away so desperately. Nolan raised his hand, and electricity quickly gathered at his fingertips, illuminating an entire section of the cavern. Immediately afterward, a gigantic lightning orb was fired at terrifying speed, aimed directly at the exit. This power was completely beyond the limits of an ordinary E-rank hunter. An explosion erupted, blasting everything around it away and sending the fleeing hunter flying, while simultaneously destroying the exit. Chen stood calmly, silently watching the brutal attack. The rocky cliff collapsed, burying the exit, while massive chunks of stone continued to glow from the lingering electricity. The hunter collapsed in terror and fear. Chen turned his gaze toward Nolan. Now he understood why Nolan had hidden his true rank. The danger radiating from him was so intense that even Leo remained extremely vigilant. Nolan slowly lifted his hat, revealing part of his arrogantly composed face. He no longer wanted to keep pretending now that his prey was completely within his grasp. Soleil Hay shouted furiously, demanding that the perpetrator reveal his true identity. She could not accept that someone who had fought alongside them would turn around and murder his own teammates. Nolan laughed with delight when he saw the fear on Soleil's face, calling it the most wonderful expression he had ever seen. To him, the fear of his victims was the greatest source of excitement. The final layer of camouflage was removed, revealing his true identity, Volt Lay, the notorious A-rank lightning-type assassin. With arrogant confidence, he declared that tonight's hunt had officially begun, and his next targets were the survivors. Thank you all for supporting my video. I wish you endless happiness and joy in life. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and leave a comment to show your support. I sincerely appreciate it.